RV owners. Doing another big battery install, and I'm really sick of carrying these things. Tires are flat on this cart. So let's talk about the biggest design flaw in a Schwintek slide. Maybe not as much of a design flaw as it is the most commonly failed part, which is going to be, it's the shoe, but the shoe is part of the bearing block. The bearing block is the biggest problem. The bearing block houses the gear that moves the room in and out, and then that little channel in the side of the room is where the shoe slides through. And as you can see, you just saw me break it with my finger, is a very brittle piece of plastic. Once that piece of plastic breaks, it starts gouging, and that is where your binding and a completely failed room comes from. Now, of course, these fail for a lot of reasons, one of them being improper installation, which is probably the most common reason. Not enough rollers used in the room, too tight of tolerances. Those are your major causes of failure, but this is actually what fails. And when this itty-bitty part fails, you're replacing the entire column as well as the gear tracks on the walls of the room. Because once it gets like this, it has done enough damage that you'll just replace all the components before it works right again. And then that will usually get you through until the columns fail again in the next 6 months to a year. I've said it plenty of times before, but if you were in the market for an RV, be very weary about any RV that has Schwintek slides on it. I've made the argument before that from an engineering standpoint, the Schwintek system is actually really nice. The base design of it. Very poorly executed. It could have been done a lot differently, but the idea of having zero space in the underbelly taken up and the columns are literally just as thick as the wall. Great idea. Just needed a lot more R&D.